Best Fart Joke Award. You can't have tobacco in my steampunk sex movie. Best sex scene, what you got? All right, hot takes. New awards you want to give? Give out some jets.
Some Brett the Jets.
Well, it's Brett and Jeff. So that's a jet.
I see.
Unless you want to be Breffs. What's gonna happen to piss you off a lot? What winning would really make you mad? Maestro.
If Maestro won, yeah. If Bradley Cooper won Best Actor for Maestro.
He's been accused of Jew face.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Which I think is stupid.
It's very stupid, yeah. I don't think he needed the nose prosthetic. I don't really know why he did it, because he looks similar enough.
I mean, if it makes him look more like him, I don't think it's any
Yeah, they're acting like, I don't know, man.
Best Director, we've got Justine
Triet
getting the Palme d'Or thrown at her by Jane Fonda. Scorsese, no. Right? Nolan, probably gonna win.
He's gonna win, yeah.
Yorgos Lanthimos and Jonathan Glazer. I'd give it to Yorgos. You're gonna give it to Nolan.
Yeah.
Best Actor, Bradley Cooper, Coleman Domingo Rustin, Paul Giamatti, Cillian Murphy, Jeffrey Wright. I'll give Cillian that one.
All right.
Best Actress,
Broke through.
Annette Bening in Naiad, which I've not seen. Lily Gladstone, which I was ready and anticipating, and I was underwhelmed, and more by the writing. I mean, she was good, but I didn't know that they asked her to do a lot.
She was even less prevalent in the first script.
Okay.
Yikes.
Sandra Hüller, Anatomy of a Fall, and not Zone of Interest.
She does have a very big Oscar speech in Anatomy of a Fall.
Wenn ich wollte, würde mein Mann deine Asche sofort über den Feldern von Barbie zu verstreuen.
Carey Mulligan from Maestro.
I actually envy the air that gets to funnel its way through you.
Out of my mouth, I hope.
Well, any which way, actually. No. Definitely be some tonal pitch variations if it came out the other end, wouldn't it?
And Emma Stone for Poor Things. I give it to Emma Stone.
I must go punch that baby.
I really like her. I hope Lily wins, but it's one of those, another thing about the Oscars, like, Emma Stone already has one. She shouldn't get another one. It's like, I mean...
It's also not really how the voting works, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. It's not how the voting works. There's not one person, like, thinking about these things, even though that's the narrative most of it takes on, like...
Yeah, like, this is what the Oscars want to do. Like, this is what the NFL wants with Taylor Swift.
Yeah,
like,
right. It's all a psyop. A lot of Oscars nowadays, I feel, are, like, playing catch up. Like, Scorsese got one for The Departed. It's not his best movie. Right. It's a very good movie, but he should have won in the 90s, for Goodfellas.
Which is why I feel like Asteroid City should have been nominated, because fucking Wes Anderson, one of our great living directors, I mean, it's hard to argue he's not like the top 10
ever.
No, like of our current generation.
I don't.
Fincher and Paul Thomas Anderson and Quentin Tarantino, like have put out this body of work.
So not Scorsese.
And basically only Grand Budapest has gotten really any kind of recognition.
And I thought he'd continue on that.
So I'm waiting for the Wes Anderson. At some point, The Departed will happen for Wes Anderson, I think, if he makes one that is more mainstream, I guess.
I don't know if that's possible.
Best Supporting Actor, Sterling K. Brown, American Fiction. Robert De Niro, Robert Downey Jr.
Great.
Gosling.
Great.
Which he's great, but it's also like, is that an Oscar-worthy? It's this thing about like, what's Oscar-worthy? Comedy apparently isn't.
It's very stupid, yeah. Man, everyone did great. That's loaded. That's probably the hardest one to pick, I think. I'm pretty sure Robert Downey Jr. win. And what's funny is it's going to be, the winner is Robert De Niro, Robert Jr.
De Gosling.
I mean, this is De Niro's best performance in ages to me.
Maybe it's mostly like, I loved Poor Things.
Yeah.
Give it to Mark Ruffalo.
He's real good in it.
Yeah. Best Supporting Actress, Emily Blunt. So Danielle Brooks, Color Purple, America Ferrera, Barbie, Jodie Foster, Naiad, and Divine Joy Randolph, the Holdovers.
I think she's going to win Divine. Yeah.
Meditations by Marcus Aurelius. For my money, it's like the Bible, the Quran, and the Bhagavad Gita all rolled up into one. This is for you.
So you just get this for everybody?
And
Now, how'd you guess?
She's
I
very
don't
good in
even
all
understand
those.
why Emily Blunt's nominated. They don't give her anything to do. She gets
Not
to be
much,
indignant a couple of times. I was like, really? Is that it?
And then she has a speech at the end, but it really isn't very hard-hitting.
She gets to throw a glass.
Yeah.
She gets to go, well, it's Robert Downey Jr. the whole time, and throws a glass. And America Ferrera, I thought, was one of the worst parts of Barbie. Not that, again, I loved Barbie, and the worst parts of Barbie isn't that bad, but I don't understand that nomination. I don't even know who to give it to. I don't really want to give it to any of them.
It's going to be divine.
Original screenplay, Anatomy of a Fall, Holdovers, Maestro, May December, which I have not seen, and Past Lives.
I thought May December was good, but just so hard to watch because...
Did you watch 30 Rock?
I've seen some of it, but...
Tracy Morgan is in an Oscar bait movie, and then it changes his career because now he's an Oscar. He's a very serious actor. Anyway, that film is called Hard to Watch. It's a joke about the Oscars.
We can get it out in time for Juneteenth.
It's very hard to watch because, it's based on Mary Kay Letourneau having an affair with her student, It's just really cringe, but not in the way the kids say it.
So what do you got winning? Best Original Screenplay. Anatomy of Fall, Holdovers, Maestro, May December, Past Lives. I feel like that one's really hard.
Man, that is hard. I felt the length in that one.
I think it's going to be Holdovers.
I think Holdovers is a pretty solid choice.
I could see Anatomy of a Fall, but it's like, that's all in the execution. That's like the directing and sound design and stuff, and not so much screenplay.
You've written scripts, it all starts with the writer.
It's true. But that one is a lot of... How do you execute that?
Oh, yeah.
I give it to Barbie, which should be in this category instead of adapted.
Well, but it was adapted
Barbie
from a
is
toy.
an adapted screenplay. Adapted from a fucking, I don't know, dolls exist, so it's adapted, which makes no sense.
It's silly rules, but yeah, I get it.
There's a difference between...
There's no story.
Barbie dolls exist, and, well, we took this novel and turned it into a script. Oh, okay. So under adapted, we have American Fiction, Barbie, for some reason, Oppenheimer, Poor Things, Zone of Interest. It's probably going to be Oppenheimer, I guess.
It's an 800-page book, I think. He condensed it.
And they condensed the wrong parts. Interesting. We didn't learn any physics. Great. I would give it to Poor Things, for
We
sure.
learned that atomic bombs have uranium in them.
Which uranium?
Woo!
Which one?
235.
Okay. They use 238 also as a tamper.
Okay.
But you wouldn't know that from watching the film. So,
wouldn't, no.
moving on. Best ensemble is...
All the Barbies. Best actress snub for Rachel McAdams and Are You There, God? It's Me, Margaret.
Didn't see it.
That was also a warm blanket of a movie. I thought it was really good. Like a really nice adaptation of... It's a pretty big novel for kids. I mean... Judy Blume.
Never read it.
It's about a girl getting her period.
I know what it's about. I didn't feel the need.
Kathy Bates is in it.
She break anyone's ankles. Stunts. You wanted to talk about
Best
stunts?
stunt. I mean, Tom Cruise is going to win every year, but he might be up once the last Mission Impossible movie comes out.
He's made of stem cells, so how dangerous are stunts really? He's just going to heal.
Right.
If he loses an arm, it'll grow back.
Well, in Mission Impossible Fallout, he breaks his ankle, and they kept that scene in the movie. And then they stopped production for like 6 weeks.
Did
so
they
he could
keep the
heal.
part where they injected fetal stem cells into his ankle?
You should really sit down and watch them. They're fucking great.
You wanted to talk about most fuckable cast.
Oh yeah, most fuckable cast.
Your idea. What do you got?
Also probably Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning. Not because of Tom Cruise. Too old. Too old to begin the training.
You don't want to bang Tom Cruise.
But the villain...
Not dilfing it for you.
Oh yeah.
Oh, Freya, did we fall down or do we mean to do that?
The villain, Simon Morales, is very attractive.
I don't know who that is.
But he's a crazy, anti-vax guy, unfortunately. However...
Like Jesus? Jim Caviezel?
Yes. Not that crazy, but kind of flirting with that. But the women in Mission Impossible, there's 4 kick-ass women in Dead Reckoning.
Cast. Most fuckable. I mean, it's hard to argue with Barbie.
You've got Margot Robbie.
You got Michael Cera, baby.
You've got Issa Rae again, like she's in... Michael Sarah. I just kind of glazed past that, and then I realized what you said. Yeah. He's very funny.
Zone of Interest.
No!
Dark Horse. Best live action short film. I have very strong feelings because I've seen one of the 5, and it'll be the Wes Anderson film, The Wonderful Story of Henry Sugar.
I didn't like those. I
wasn't crazy about them. And it's like, I get why he put these straight to Netflix. It's like, he didn't. And also had 2 things come out this year.
And I loved Roald Dahl. And I read all his stuff as a kid, and I just didn't like it.
This is, people accuse, every Wes Anderson movie comes out and they accuse Wes Anderson of just being a parody of himself. Sometimes it's more true than others, and I felt here it was a little more true. And also kind of felt like The Killer in that it was like, he's just perfecting his form of whatever movie of the week he wants to do right now. And it's not.
I'm happy Wes Anderson
aiming high, and it's fine.
I'm happy that Wes Anderson is making movies and doing his thing. And for
Score?
Okay, yes, score.
John Williams.
They always have to nominate him. He is the most nominated person
in the history
Oscars.
of being nominated for
anything. 54 scores at this point.
So we have American Fiction, which I don't remember the score for that being great. I don't remember. Indiana Jones, Killers of the Flower Moon, which I did like the score. There's a lot of it's like a drum. There's a lot of drum.
There was this acoustic kind of bend. I remember that a lot. It's Robbie
Robertson.
From what band?
Oh, I don't know.
It's like a famous band.
The Robertsons. The Robertson Five.
No, it's a band you've heard of.
The Killers.
The Band.
The band is called The Band?
Yeah.
Okay. Good name. Oppenheimer, Ludwig Göransson, which I would give it to. I think
it's going to win. Really yes, good. I think.
Poor Things, which
I don't remember.
I feel like it was pretty good, but I don't,
Okay, so Oppenheimer's going to take score, screenplay, picture, director, and actor. 5 of them, I bet.
Best original song, The Fire Inside from Flamin' Hot, the Cheeto movie.
I just can't even read that with a straight face.
I'm Just Ken from Barbie.
Sure.
Which, is that the best song in that movie?
That's good.
Yeah, Mark Ronson, by the way. Mark Ronson.
Oh, Mark Ronson did it?
It Never Went Away from American Symphony.
What?
Something, Song for My People from Killers of the Flower Moon. And What Was I Made For from Barbie. Also, Billie Eilish, which...
That's probably going to win.
Billie Eilish fan, weirdly. I don't think you would suspect that of me, and I like her, and I didn't really care for that song that much.
I really liked the Lizzo song
Give Me Happier Than Ever. It's a great song. What Was I Made For?
I like the Lizzo song that she wakes up to in 2 days in a row, but the second one's like weirder and like talking about death and stuff, and the first one opens the movie when she's waking up and doing all her stuff, and the other one is like, oops, the shower's cold, or whatever.
Right.
Oh, I also like the Dua Lipa song when they're all dancing.
Best sound. And Oppenheimer is nominated despite the fact that the film's audio file was apparently corrupted and somehow was nominated.
Apparently corrupted.
Maestro also. Here we have Maestro. Okay, so I'm watching this. I've heard the name Leonard Bernstein. I don't really know what he's done. I was like, oh, he did the music for West Side Story. So I'm expecting we're gonna do a bit. Yes. We're gonna do some bits from that somehow. It'll work it in. It was like that never even happens.
Yeah.
There's so many elements of you could work that in. Oh, these references you can make, and they never do. I'm like,
it had the Oppenheimer problem.
Cool.
You didn't think.
No, I didn't even go in knowing that.
Yeah, that's true.
But they mentioned he's doing a TV interview or something. He's working on West Side Story. I was like, oh, okay.
I've heard of that.
We're gonna get something from that. We're gonna get a little.
That was nominated for some Oscars. No. Both times it was made.
Production design: Barbie, Killers of the Flower Moon, Napoleon, Oppenheimer, Poor Things. I would give Poor Things and Barbie.
Yeah, either one of those I would be happy with. Killers of the Flower Moon spent their money well from Apple. The movie cost $200 million, and it really felt lived in, I think. And they must have made that town.
I feel like Napoleon was also pretty good.
Ridley Scott movies always look incredible, but I feel like so much was missing and they couldn't focus on a tone. Because the
tone was weird rom-com where Napoleon gets very humpy like a rabbit sometimes and Josephine's not really into it.
And then there's some
very historically inaccurate, and
then there's some awesome battle scenes.
And it's like going in knowing like Ridley Scott, I have a quote in here. Quote, Napoleon dies, then 10 years later, someone writes a book. Then someone takes that book and writes another. And so 400 years later, we're like,
like the Bible?
This was 200 years ago, man.
There's so many.
And so 400 years later, there's a lot of imagination. And when I have issues with historians, I ask, excuse me, mate, were you there? No? Well, shut the fuck up then.
Yeah. Ridley Scott's also like 83 or something.
Yeah.
Like
he also declared later, responding to French critics, that, quote, the French don't even like themselves. I mean, probably true. I don't know. I thought Napoleon pretty good. Like, people will talk about it as like this train wreck disaster, and so I was like,
no.
Okay. I was like, no, like, sure, it's not historically accurate, and they're gonna take these elements. It should have just been like Band of Brothers. Make it 10 part. Like, there's so many elements of Napoleon that are interesting. And he's exiled 2 different times, people. There's a lot of story here. And this is like really crammed
Stanley Kubrick could never finish his Napoleon movie because there was too much.
But it's happening now. Do you know about that?
Yeah, Spielberg is
Band of Brothersing.
Yeah.
It's going to be, I think, 7 parts.
Okay.
I don't know why 7, but okay.
It's a magic number.
It'll be better than the 2.5 hours where like entire.
Are they going to release the 4-hour cut? You know,
I don't know.
Ridley Scott always has director's cuts.
He does.
And now he might do a movie based on the Bee Gees. Is that going to be historic? Yeah. Staying Alive. Yeah. He doesn't have a lot of time left. He needs to do something more important than the Bee Gees biopic.
He could do a biopic of Frank Stallone, you know? He did the soundtrack for the sequel to Saturday Night Fever. Cinematography, we've got El Conde. I
don't know that one.
Killers of the Flower Moon, Maestro, Oppenheimer, Poor Things. It'll probably be Oppenheimer. They recreated an atomic bomb by making a small bomb. All right, that was cool. I really like their display of like atoms and stuff and weird, and that it's in camera.
Yes.
And then there's other things where it's like, a little CGI would have been good, but okay.
This is another snub right here. The best cinematography was John Wick 4. Every frame looked amazing.
Go ahead and say that's not true, though I have not seen it. Gonna go ahead and disagree.
What movies do you watch?
Not John Wick 4. Poor Things has a lot of weird choices.
Yes.
And the cinematography is very memorable.
I do not like Fish Islands ever.
I mean,
they use it too much.
They're using it as this like, it's a childlike view on the world.
I know.
But I was expecting, because they start out in black and white.
Yes.
They say children up until like some number of months are in black and white.
Yeah.
And it's black and white and a lot of fisheye. And that's the perspective of a child. Then when she goes out in the world, the colors are extremely vibrant. And it's like, that's what happens when you've never seen color before. And suddenly, and by the end of the film, it's like muted, realistic, you're depressed colors.
Yeah.
Not black and white. But the fisheye kept happening. I was like, wait.
Throughout the movie,
been in the, I don't know. Okay.
I was trying to figure out why it was being done, but by that time I was like, nah.
But just generally, like, it was pretty cool to look at. They had some great sets. That's more like production design, I guess, than the cinematography. And some of there's a lot of Wes Anderson-y vibes in the way they did, like, there's like weird gondolas and things and miniatures and the boat, I guess.
Yeah.
Maestro cinematography, because it's in black and white.
I hope not. That movie was boring to look at.
Killers of the Flower Moon.
Really good looking, especially when they're watching the fields be burnt and it like starts to unfocus, and it's really cool looking.
Best makeup and hair, we have Golda. Didn't see it. Maestro, Oppenheimer, Poor Things, Society of the Snow, which is also an international. I have the Poor Things. Costume design, Barbie, Killers of the Flower Moon, Napoleon, Oppenheimer, Poor Things. I'd go Poor Things. They had very, very interesting outfits in this steampunk alternate. History
production,
future.
makeup, should both be Poor Things. They're both excellent and weird. Just weird and fun.
And like Napoleon is like, what? They're French, old French things.
I mean, obviously creative? They look good. We've done this before.
Hard. Is it creative?
Yeah.
Film editing, Anatomy of a Fall, The Holdovers, Killers of the Flower Moon, Oppenheimer, and Poor Things. I had some thoughts here on film editing. Killers of the Flower Moon for editing. Did they edit it?
Come on, this guy.
Did they cut anything?
Scorsese's editor is the only one that any of us know by name.
I do know that Yorgos's editor's name is also Yorgos.
Well, at least in this movie.
Yorgos Mavropassardis.
Okay. But no, I mean, remember in the edit in Killers of the Flower Moon when it cuts from like day to night and it's like a night scene at one of the bars? It looks fucking incredible. It's like a camera pan and then it's perfectly seamless.
That's probably the part where we paused it to watch it the next day because it's 4 hours long.
It's not 4 hours long. We already figured that one out. 3:26.
It felt like.
There's a tweet out there. Are movies too long or are you just a little bitch?
Oh, interesting. I don't understand why the Holdovers is in editing because it's such a straightforward. Like Oppenheimer, it's dumb, but I get it. Like you're cutting around between 4 different storylines, and this is in black and white, and blah blah blah. And
who's Nolan's editor now?
this was Jennifer Lame. It was a very lame editor. Maybe Zone of Interest should be in here because they were talking about some interviews I saw. They were talking about how like when they're shooting the garden and like the kids are playing or whatever, that they just had a ton of cameras. It was like security cameras set up. Okay. So they were just getting like thousands of hours of footage so that they could pull the like perfect day in the life slice of whatever. It's just like, I mean, it's hard. It's a lot of work. Right. Is it?
You're going to have to do it for this video.
Anatomy of a Fall is what's actually nominated. And courtroom drama and cutting around in timelines a little bit there. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, there's a lot of information in Anatomy of the Fall, and I thought it was very easy to understand, and I think I got spoiled on that. We don't know if she did it or not. I wasn't let down at the end. Like when I first saw Zodiac, obviously I know that they never caught the Zodiac killer. I was still let down at the end.
He's a senator. I didn't know. I wasn't spoiled, but I suspected we would never find out. Like halfway through the movie, I was like, we're never gonna learn what happened. The dog and the aspirin and all that was like, maybe we're gonna figure it out. Do we really? No. All right, last one. Best visual effects. We have the creator.
This is an incredibly lame year, I thought.
Oh. Yeah.
Although the creator, that's the best part of it, is the effects. They look very good. The movie's plot is pretty basic.
The creator, Godzilla -1.
That's gonna win.
Guardians of the Galaxy 3, Mission Impossible 7, and Napoleon.
I don't know why Napoleon.
I guess there's a lot of CGI.
I mean, there has to be.
The Battle of Austerlitz was about. They went on ice.
They don't want those horses. Okay. Godzilla will win. I had best vocal performance was Haley Steinfeld and Spider-Gwen or Gwen Stacy in Across the Spider-Verse.
So, what are we giving the Golden Shower, the Jet Award, the first annual? What's our best picture? Because apparently is not Oppenheimer, it's the Spider-Verse.
That was my favorite movie of the year, Across the Spider-Verse.
But I haven't seen it.
You really should.
So how strongly do you feel? What gets our award? It can't be Oppenheimer.
No, that's fine.
I left it off my list. Also Spider-Verse, but I haven't seen it. So I'd be more amenable to that.
And I really liked Poor Things.
So it sounds like Poor Things is a winner.
Watch It Go Home Oscar list, too.
Oh, it probably will. Fucking American prudes. Yeah. I had American Fiction 2, Barbie 3.
I'd be okay with Barbie.
What's getting the Golden Shower Award?
I want a Golden Shower from Margot Robbie.
Sounds like
Barbie!
You need to see Babylon. It's not her, somebody else.
Yeah.
It's Fatty Arbuckle. Is it Poor Things?
Or is it Barbie? Where is it? They're sharing the award for...
Close your eyes and then announce it. What is it? What gets it? All right, here it is.
Oh, wow.
You want to award it to Barbie?
Yeah, that's cool.
You like that?
It's a real trophy.
Hand it out. Give it. Let's see if Margot Robbie or Greta Gerwig will come on our show.
It's really heavy too.
It's how heavy is it? Or how girthy is our Golden Shower Award?
That's about 9 inches.
Oh my goodness.
I felt the length in that one. Come on, this guy. Barbie.
The top pivots. The pivot still works.
Oh.
Yeah. Look at that. Oh my god.
Make it rain all over you. Barbie.
Barbie's our winner.
Can you hear the weight in that?
We didn't talk about Ferrari.
Oh yeah, Ferrari's good.
I wrote this down. Speaking of Oppenheimer, Zone of Interest and Napoleon both are films about men who lead an industrial effort to efficiently kill masses of people, but refuse to show you the suffering and are like, no, here's the nagging wife instead. We got 3 of those movies, right?
Of course.
Speaking of Oppenheimer, Napoleon and Ferrari, great men who do great things, but instead the movie is about them dealing with their nagging wife and their mistress. Or heir or bastard.
Do you want to mention Ferrari's fucking psychotic crash scene?
And that really happened, apparently.
Yeah,
so
I was just like...
We're fucking crazy shit.
People in my theater gasped.
Yeah, I mean, they were just like... I was not expecting to... see a torso.
It's pretty low-key.
Anatomy of a Fall and Ferrari are the most French and most Italian movies possible. Just who can know?
And Oppenheimer's the most American movie, right? Doesn't make any sense. No. It's too loud.
Mission Impossible
is assaulting. You haven't seen it.
We're super wrong in what happens at the Oscars. If it's not Oppenheimer winning all this shit, what?
Man,
what's just gonna piss you off the most? Maestro, right?
Maestro / Bradley Cooper winning any combination.
Bradley Cooper.
I mean, it's just so try hard. I feel like Maestro would have done well 10 years ago.
What is Oscar bait anymore? You have to do like meta Oscar bait.
I feel like it's
like
Maestro
American
is so try hard Oscar bait. What are we gonna do? Oscar snubs?
Whatever you want to do. All the other awards.
Snubs are kind of silly anyway because like everyone can't get in. Like Greta Gerwig should be up for Best Director. I think they should make it 10 directors.
Best Actor. The dog from Anatomy of a Fall. That's my best actor. Snoop. Also, Snoopy's in Maestro.
That same dog? Or Snoopy?
Snoopy, a parade float.
Oh, okay.
Is in the background of Maestro.
Right. Good connection.
There's also a good acting dog in Zone of Interest.
Yeah.
Sandra Huller in Acting Dogs. Yeah. She's the dog whisperer, apparently.
I think Zac Efron should have been nominated for Best Actor for Iron Claw. I thought he was very good. I mean, maybe because most of us don't really expect much from him, but I've seen him in a lot of good things. But he's really good in this. And he wasn't nominated, it was just like, I mean, again, there's only 5, but...
So, it's Bradley Cooper, Maestro.
Well, I wouldn't have him.
Coleman Domingo in Rustin, which I did not see.
I didn't see it either.
Paul Giamatti, Holdovers, which, I don't know, he was just Paul Giamatti. Smelled like fish. I don't know.
He's good.
Cillian Murphy, Oppenheimer, which will probably win, and Jeffrey Wright in American Fiction, which I really liked American Fiction. I don't know that I don't know that Jeffrey Wright was like amazing.
No.
Generally, I looked at all these and went like, I don't know, those are okay.
Yeah.
I didn't have strong feelings about basically anything until I watched Poor Things, and then I was like, okay, Poor Things. All the things.
Yeah, Jeffrey Wright, he's just always good, so I expected him to be great, and he was.
He's also an Asteroid City.
He's one of our best. Yeah, he's probably the best part
of
the
French Dispatch. City, right? I liked Adam Driver in Ferrari.
Yes.
I would have nominated him, I think. I don't know about win. I would be able to Snoop. Right. First dog to win Best Actor.
I can't say no to a dog.
That's right. Best line of the year, what do you got?
Well,
I've got Napoleon. You English think you're so great because you have boats.
Yeah.
That was a good line.
And just the way he throws it out there.
It was such a sick
hilarious.
burn. You English think you're so great because you have boats. Sandra Huller, I'll have my husband spread your ashes in Poland or whatever. That was a very dark line. Good. I've got I Must Go Punch That Baby. Some Poor Things. And any number of furious jumpings and let's touch each other on the genital pieces and all those kinds of things. What'd you have for best line of the year?
It mostly is because I also thought this was the best trailer of the year was Killers of the Flower Moon. Can you find the wolves in this picture?
Oh, that's
and it just repeated it through it. So in the movie, it's when DiCaprio is just reading from like an Osage history book. It's not very impactful, but when it's in the trailer,
right,
and the ending is just all those insidious white people. Can you find the wolves in this picture? It's so good and scary.
Corporate wants you to find the wolves in this one.
Yeah.
Best Fart Joke Award goes to Maestro.
Best use of music, Rush's Tom Sawyer in Iron Claw.
Is that a better use of Tom Sawyer than in I Love You Man?
No.
No. It's not better than that. Okay. Best sex scene. What you got? I have a few.
Man,
I have a couple nominations.
A lot of movies don't really have a lot of sex scenes anymore.
Well, the answer is definitely Poor Things, but I want to also nominate.
Which one?
Exactly, any of them. the 5 nominees. Well, 3 of them are from Poor Things.
Whatever Poor Things streaming service is on, it's like, watch out! There's a warning. Depictions of like cigarettes, and
tobacco.
It's like, oh yeah, there's a lot of sex in this movie too.
Well, you can't have tobacco in my steampunk sex movie. God damn it!
I was actually kind of surprised. I saw Poor Things pretty early in release in the theaters, and I thought there would be more people walking out, but people enjoyed it. It made $100 million worldwide.
Did it?
It killed.
Interesting. I think it's going to make more, I think. After I say it's the best picture, it'll be a bump. I also want to nominate Napoleon, hilariously humping Josephine as she's very bored. Yes. It's a combination of she's like, all right, this is happening, and I'm very bored, and he is just like a rabbit for 13 seconds.
Like a puppy.
Great. I would also like to nominate Oppenheimer reading from the Bhagavad Gita during sex. I am become death destroyer of puss. Blam. That's best sex scene.
It was very college. I felt like he's trying to impress her, you know. And it's just silly. It's very silly.
She grabs a random page and picks it, and that's the line. It's so stupid.
Yeah. What are you going to insert there, buddy? Man, that is hard. I felt the length in that one. I can be a slut. Come on, this guy. That was uncomfortable.